My mom is a control freak. After she pushed me to the brink of suicide, I thought it would finally bring her some regret. But instead, I saw her spend a fortune hiring a Taoist priest. Master, how much paper money should I burn every day to keep my child from wasting it down there? Is there a way to make her check in like she did when she was alive? If she performs well, I'll burn more money. In that moment, I actually felt a sense of relief. Thank goodness I'm dead. I no longer have to be controlled by her. But the Taoist priest's voice, wrapped in coldness, immediately extinguished my fantasy. Yes, there is, indeed, a way. After I died, my mom burned 20 ghost money bills for me every day. Just like when I was alive, she'd send me $2 for living expenses every morning. To the exact cent, never a penny more. But life in the afterlife was far more strained than I'd imagined. I trembled in the cold wind, struggling to calculate today's expenses. Grave rental fee, even for the simplest, most basic coffin, it costs 10 ghost money bills a day. Ghost guard fee, to avoid being bullied by evil spirits, I had to pay 200 ghost money bills a month. Pain relief medicine, as a ghost who died unnaturally, I relive the agony of my death every day. I need pain relief medicine to alleviate the pain, which costs 15 ghost money bills per dose. And on top of that, there are expenses like reincarnation points tax, soul restoration fee, incense food, and soul protection clothing. 20 ghost money bills a day, just enough to barely suppress my pain. Not to mention anything about securing a place to rest or avoiding bullying. Tisk. The ghost who collects the protection fee weighed the few thin bills in his hand, his gaze strange. When others burn paper, they spend fortunes. Your family burns only 20 a day? If you say she cares, she really cares. But if you say she's stingy, she's so cheap it's ridiculous, even in the afterlife. I pressed my lips tightly together and said nothing. They didn't know. This was the control my mom had engraved into my bones. It was like this when I was alive, and even in death, it followed me like a shadow. Why don't you ask for a dream visit and have your mom burn more money? She probably doesn't know the cost of living in the underworld, so it's understandable if she burns too little. The ghost slowly suggested, every newly arrived soul gets one free dream visitation, just so you can tell your family to burn more money. Dream visitation? Doesn't that mean I'd have to face my mom again? A shiver ran through me. Just the thought of it sent a chill deep into my bones. I still vividly remembered how every day, when I was alive, was a torment of fear and suppression. My mom demanded video calls 3 times a day, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, where I had to report every detail of my study and life. Additionally, I had to show up at the library every day, take videos, and check in with a caption saying, today is the XTH day of working hard. Only when I did all this, could I get the $2 for the next day's living expenses. I once tried to voice my objections, but my mom was as stern as ever. $2, I've calculated it carefully, it's more than enough for you to eat and drink. College girls are the most easily tempted. I'm doing this to control your material desires and to cultivate good habits of thrift. If you can't appreciate this, you think I'm harming you? The righteousness in her voice crushed all my arguments in an instant. I knew resistance was useless. So, I learned to be silent. I learned to bury every bit of grievance, every ounce of longing deep inside, and to use obedience as a shell to exchange for the pitiful right to survive. Yet, even when I gave it my all, it seemed like I could never meet her demands. When I needed sanitary pads during my period, when I ran out of toilet paper and needed more, or when I just wanted to eat some fruit, I always found myself in an awkward situation. I couldn't have normal social interactions. When my roommates invited me for bubble tea or dinner, was I supposed to say, wait, let me ask my mom to send me a red envelope first? And even if I asked, I knew she wouldn't give it to me. Once, after a roommate kindly bought me a cup of bubble tea, I mustered the courage to ask my mom for an extra $2 to return the favor. She asked me to write a 2,000-word letter of application, thoroughly explaining why I needed the extra money. And in the end, for my painstaking application, she replied with just 2 words. Rejected. There was another time, due to severe menstrual cramps, I couldn't wake up on time. As soon as the clock hit 7, my mom's call came like a death sentence. Where the hell have you gone? Video call? Check-in? After just a few days, you dare slack off? Are you hanging out with those shady people again? I'm telling you, if today's check-in isn't done, you can forget about tomorrow's money. Even when I trembled and explained my physical discomfort, she was completely unsympathetic. What's the big deal with your period? Every woman has it, but I've never seen anyone so whiny like you. You're just lazy and looking for excuses. She didn't even care that I had finals that day. If I didn't check in with her immediately, her anger would flare up instantly, and she would question if I didn't care about her as my mom. I thought about running away, getting a part-time job, doing some work, but nothing worked. My mom was like an all-day surveillance monitor, showing up at school for random checks. She kept a tight grip on me, pushing me harder. If I made even the slightest mistake, I knew what awaited me, another slap, and a wave of curses that would drown me. I couldn't, and I didn't dare, defy her demands. So, I chose to jump. In the most desperate way, I sought escape. I wanted to see her cry for me, repent for me, and admit that the suffocating love she gave me was wrong. I wanted to escape her control forever. So, facing the ghost officer, I shook my head. I don't want to dream. Is there any work in the underworld that can help me earn some ghost money? The ghost officer gave me a sidelong glance, as if looking at a defective product. Someone like you, who committed suicide, is considered a self-destructive soul. In the underworld, that's like being a prisoner on the mortal side, high risk. Who would dare hire you? I refused to believe in such fate. Dragging my increasingly weak soul, I wandered through the eerie alleys, looking for a job. The cold rejection came at me again and again. Without the shelter of the underworld home, the soul-eating wind cut through my being like a blade. Without the protection of the ghost officer, the malicious spirit's prying eyes constantly watched me, like thorns in my back. The deeper despair came from the daily, punctual, repetitive agony of falling. The pain tore through me, but I couldn't help it. The words slipped out from the depths of my heart. Mom. In that instant, it was as if a faint spark flickered in the despair. I'm dead. Mom probably knows she was wrong, right? The 20 ghost coins burned every day. Maybe it's because she doesn't know how hard life in the underworld is? This tiny, pitiful hope made it hard for me to raise my finger, barely brushing against the ghost officer's sleeve. My voice was as thin as a thread. Excuse me, where can I go to dream? That night, I slipped into my mother's dream. Her dream was a cold prison of order. I saw countless me, all wearing identical school uniforms, sitting expressionless at desks, obediently copying the filial piety classic. The walls were covered with schedules, precise to the minute. The air smelled of disinfectant mixed with ink. She herself sat high on a carved wooden chair, her eyes sharp as an eagle's, scanning every daughter's handwriting to see if it was neat, and checking if their posture was correct. This, perhaps, was the image she had in mind for me. Obedient, perfect, without a soul. Mom. My voice was broken, floating away like a faint whisper. Having no money to pay for protection, and no shelter to rely on, I had long been tortured until my soul was frail, like a candle flickering in the wind. Standing at the edge of her perfect world, I felt like a stain that shouldn't even exist. Who? My mother's voice had a hint of suspicion. It's me. Suddenly, my mother shot up from the chair, her gaze snapping into sharp focus, pulling itself away from the blurry dream. Lena, is that you? You finally came into my dream. Her voice held a sense of relief, and she reached out toward me. Her gesture was as if I had only suffered a little outside, and now I was about to return to her side. Seeing her like this, a twinge of sorrow stirred in my heart. Is Mom waiting for me? Has she finally realized how cruel she was to me? Did I have to sacrifice my life just to make her understand me for once? Mom, I'm in the underworld, and it's not going well. I softened, my voice involuntarily tinged with a bit of grievance. It hurts so much, that falling pain. It repeats every day. I need painkillers, I need a place to stay, I need protection from the ghost guards. Could you burn more paper money for me? I don't know why, even though I'm dead, as soon as I speak, I revert back to that submissive tone from before. I'm like a beggar, wagging my tail and pleading for charity. This familiar feeling makes me hate myself even more. What shocked me even more was the instant change in Mom's expression. You worthless thing. Her voice suddenly rose. Useless when you were alive, and now you're just a debt-collecting ghost. I've always said you were a good-for-nothing, with no resolve. Now in the afterlife, you still haven't learned your lesson, picking up bad habits like wasting money. Do you think money just grows on trees? I felt as though I had been struck by lightning. My soul shuddered. Mom, you burn 20 pieces of paper money every day, and just for the painkillers, it costs 15. I don't have a place to stay, and I still have to save 200 each month for the ghost guard's protection fee. And if I want to reincarnate, I have to pay a reincarnation tax. Enough. She abruptly cut me off, spitting words that were so sharp, I could almost see the saliva in the light of the dream. All excuses. When you were alive, $2 was enough for you to eat, drink, and take care of yourself, with some left over. You don't need to eat or drink down there, 20 pieces of paper money are more than enough. Don't think I don't know about the underworld, I've consulted a Taoist. 20 pieces, more than enough. You've clearly not changed. You've learned bad habits down there, that's why you're spending so much. Mom's voice was like a sharp knife, slicing through my fleeting moment of emotion. You think burning money is for your enjoyment? Let me tell you, I burn money every day so you'll constantly remember, your mom. Still up here, still in charge of you. Don't think you'll ever escape my grasp, even in death. Something deep inside my soul cracked. So, Mom burned money not because she missed me, but because she wanted to control me. She hadn't changed at all from when I was alive, in fact, she was even worse. Do you still think you're not at fault at all? I asked, dazed and confused. I'm your mother. Everything I do is for your own good. She was like a ticking time bomb, her voice even sharper. Look at me, I'm old, and I still have to worry about you. When you were alive, I bled my heart out teaching you, and look at you, so fragile. You couldn't handle a little setback, jumping off buildings. And now, dead, and you still don't get it. She took another step forward, and the perfect daughters in the dream behind her turned to ash. Only her twisted face remained, contorted by her need for control. What you need now is to reflect and obey, to correct your mistakes, not think about how to waste money. Is it me who needs to correct my mistakes? I silently screamed, tears flowing uncontrollably. But Mom showed no sign of stopping. From now on, do as I say. Every night, give me a dream visit, ask me for my blessings, and say it's the nth day of your reflection in the underworld. Be obedient. Let me see your progress. If I find out you're not obedient, her lips curled into a cruel and satisfied smile. Then I'll stop burning the paper money. Let's see what you'll do then. She actually wanted me to keep checking in from the underworld? Even though I no longer breathed, I still felt suffocated. The nightmare of my life was replaying, in an even more sinister and hopeless way, in the underworld. But this time, from the depths of the cold, despairing abyss, a blazing fire suddenly surged up, destroying everything in its path. When I was alive, I had no power to resist. Now, I'm dead, and I fear nothing. I once thought that my death would bring you a bit of regret. I gave a self-mocking smile, raised my hand, and pointed directly at her repulsive face. Now I see how stupid I was, how laughably naive. I'll tell you this, even if I'm scattered in the underworld, I won't ever visit you in a dream again, not for a single second. You will never control me again, not for a single second. Mom's eyes widened in shock, her hand reaching out to grab my soul. You think you can escape my grasp? Let me tell you, even if you don't visit me in dreams, I still have plenty of ways to. Her words were left unfinished, and I dissipated like smoke. The dream visit time was over. Are you okay? Coming out of the dream, the ghost officer from the dream visiting bureau, and, quickly caught me. My soul almost dispersed, as if all my strength had been drained, and I could barely stand, and looked at me, wanting to say something, but hesitated. After a long pause, she sighed and gently patted my shoulder. Having a mom like that, you're really unlucky. I forced a smile, one more painful than crying. You saw everything, huh? Dream visit content is fully monitored, it's a rule. She paused, then hesitantly asked. So, you really plan to check in with her every night? I shook my head, my voice as faint as a wisp of smoke. I couldn't stand the check-ins when I was alive, that's why I chose to jump. Now that I'm dead, no matter how painful my soul is, it's still better than being controlled by her again. And fell silent for a moment, then suddenly lowered her voice. Actually, if your mom stops burning money for you, that's actually a good thing. I lifted my eyes. As long as no one burns paper for you for 3 months, and your personal assets fall below 10,000 ghost coins, you can apply for underworld welfare. Underworld welfare? I straightened up, my eyes lighting up. Yep, 1,500 ghost coins per month. 1,500 ghost coins, that's a lot. Even if my mom burned paper for me every day, it would only amount to 600 ghost coins per month. The underworld welfare is more than double that. I suddenly felt like I had something to look forward to. As long as my mom doesn't burn paper for me for 3 months in a row, I can qualify for welfare. Looking at it that way, dying doesn't seem so bad after all. Though life is tight, it's not without a way out. Maybe it was my experience in the dream that made and feel sorry for me. She sighed, then took out a dozen soul painkillers from her pocket and handed them to me. Take these, they're a welfare from the Dream Visiting Bureau. I don't need them, and I was going to sell them for some money, but seeing how hard things are for you, I'll just give them to you. I was surprised and gratefully took them, thanking her over and over, and thought for a moment and then said, my workload's been pretty heavy lately. If you're willing to lend a hand, I can give you the painkillers the Bureau provides every month. But you can't talk about this to anyone, you're a high-risk soul due to suicide, and if the higher-ups find out I'm using you, both of us are done for. I was overjoyed and quickly replied, don't worry, I won't say a word. With this side job, even if my mom stops burning paper for me, I can make it through the 3 months. After 3 months, I'll get welfare, and things will only get better. I bowed deeply to Anne. A ghost officer, a complete stranger, saw my suffering and was willing to help. And my mom, who constantly says she loves me, couldn't even let me rest in peace after my death. She probably never really loved me. Accepting that truth, I actually felt a sense of relief. In the days that followed, I diligently helped and with the miscellaneous tasks at the Dream Visiting Bureau. I organized the communication between the worlds, proofread the dream visit schedules, and floated through the file racks, filled with the scent of distant flowers, and found me a corner in the Bureau's treasury to stay. Though she didn't give me many painkillers, taking half a bottle a day helped ease the torment of my soul. Day by day, time passed. 2 months had gone by. Just 1 more month, and I would qualify for welfare, a bit of financial relief. But on this very day, as I was bent over organizing the Dream Visiting Bureau files, a sudden force, brutal and unrelenting, gripped my soul. It felt like an iron hook had pierced through my collarbone. I couldn't even scream in pain before I was violently yanked upward.